I can't wait to see the chemtrail comments that are going to come out because of this picture that we have up right now. But it is a beautiful picture. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Trends Live. This is our daily show here from Digital Trends, back from our break. So good to see you all right now joining us. And as I said, we're broadcasting live on Periscope, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Yes, I still remembered even after the break. We're here in our Portland, Oregon studio, and we have a full lineup. As usual, getting back here, getting back to the grind of bringing you this live show. We want to see your comments, your questions. Let's run down the docket for today because it's a really impressive one. Because first off, coming up in about 20 minutes, we are going to be joined by Deepak Chopra. Yes, Deepak Chopra, author of over 80 books and an incredible life, incredible person, incredible talent, is going to be here live on the show. And we're going to be talking to him about his new book. We're going to be talking about his new new skill that is available on the Alexa app, and lots of other things. So Deepak Chopra live here on the show. And then we're going to head to our New York studio. We're going to be joined by Felicia Miranda, our gaming editor, to talk to Dominique Corbin of a company called Limitless. And what they do is they make 3D printed prosthetics for children. Pretty amazing. I mean, they've used some like Marvel-themed ones. It's a really, really cool company, and she's going to be talking to Dominique. And then we're going to head back here to Portland, where then I will be joined by Giri Srinivas, the CEO of Helm, to talk about a new personal server that will help protect you and your data and all kinds of different security issues that people are going through right now. They've developed a product to help you help protect yourself. So we're going to talk to him about that. And here in studio, I'm Greg Nibbler, joined by Nicole Rainey. Hello, Nicole.
Good morning.
Good morning. How was your break?
Pretty good. You know, they say the camera adds like 10 pounds. I took care of that myself this break.
Yes.
I just ate enough to give myself 10 pounds.
I did that yesterday too when I realized I ate probably my 100th cookie of the entire weekend.
You're only at 100? You need to catch up.
I'm
at easy like 237.
Oh God, yeah, I had quite a few myself, so I totally understand. Well, we have a lot of topics to get to today. We're going to get to our Read 'em and Weep segment and our news, but before we do that, I did have something I did want to bring up because right now, all the specials that were going on before for Black Friday and then up through Christmas, they're still happening. And right now, HP, Hewlett-Packard, has some specials going on for their Red Tag sale. It's going on until end of day on January 2nd. So you got a little bit of time. It's probably good to get in there and start buying now because the savings is going to be up to 55% off. I was taking a look at their site. We've got a link that we'll post here in the comments. You can click directly through. So wherever you're watching right now, we'll put a link in there that you can click directly through to that. But it's bit.ly/DT_HP Red Tag Sale. That's a mouthful, so you can go back and take a look at that, but we will have that available for you to click through on all of the comments. Seriously, really good deals. HP's Red Tag Sale. They've got the best value touch laptops on sale, and yeah, save up to $690 right now. So, you just got done with Christmas, maybe you got a present you didn't want. Now it's time to buy yourself something.
I like it. That's like 690 cookies worth of savings right there.
It is. 690 cookies worth of savings per Nicole. So the HP Red Tag sale going on right now. Let's talk about some news headlines. We do have this from over the break, which is not surprising. Amazon saying that they had record sales. Record sales.
But that's all we know. We just know it's record sales.
There's not any specific information of how much they sold, which is typical of Amazon, but they said they apparently in the post, and this is according to digitaltrends.com's write-up about this, on its website they included the word millions 14 times in their online shopping.
But that's literally all we know. Yeah. They've declined to provide any sort of actual numbers as far as like how much they've sold, but all we know is that it was just millions and millions and millions worth of stuff, millions of products, millions of savings, millions of happy people, presumably.
Millions and millions and millions. You wouldn't believe how many millions that they
You wouldn't believe how many millions.
Well, apparently, though, they did, this is what their claim is, and I believe it, that they broke some holiday records for themselves. But one issue that did come up has to do with Alexa. And sorry if I'm saying the A word. I know there's a lot of people that just got some new Echo products, and I'm probably setting them off right now. But if you were in Europe, you had a bit of an issue with that because apparently it crashed on Christmas Day.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because if Amazon's selling millions and millions of products, presumably,
how many millions.
yeah, presumably at least 1 million of those were Alexa products.
Yes, the A word.
The A word products. So I guess it makes sense because if everybody's unwrapping them and trying to activate them, get them to sign up,
Yeah.
It just seems like maybe Amazon would be prepared for that, but I honestly, I don't know. I still don't have an Alexa. So.
Yeah. Oh, you still don't?
I still don't.
Nice. You're one of the holdouts.
Yep.
So, I mean, well, I feel like after this, over this holiday, like there's a lot more people that have them now. But yeah, so how long are you going to hold out? What's your goal?
It's not that I necessarily have a goal. It's just that I haven't gotten around to getting one. As I was telling you before the break, I just got my first Tamagotchi, so
Yeah.
I'm really behind on the times.
Just catching up. Like, wait till you check out those Bluetooth speakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I don't
you got
even
a
know.
whole world ahead of you to catch up on. So they have, again, said that they've broken records. However, also broken Alexa, apparently, over the break as well.
The records broke Alexa.
Yeah, the records broke Alexa. All right, let's get to our Read 'em and Weep segment. I am very interested to see what we're going to get from over this break. So this is where we take a look at some of the comments that have come through across our social media platforms about the various articles that Digital Trends puts up. There's a lot of articles and a lot of comments, and we do read the comments. This is just a reminder of that. We read the comments, so drop those in there. We're broadcasting live. You can also live comment as we go through this. So Christopher Neeson regarding Lost SimCity for NES revealed to the public as Christmas gift.
Sorry, I read that before you can say it. That's
Christopher
great.
said this game was the reason I got into real estate. So, have you played SimCity?
I wasn't really into it,
Really?
but yeah, I guess I played a little bit. It definitely did inspire me to make my career choice. So that's pretty amazing.
You need to make sure there's enough stores in the area, or your parks, or your people will get unhappy. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of funny. Like, SimCity for NES was revealed. I was just reading about this. It was apparently revealed at one point, and then they took it away and just released it on SNES. And now I guess they've revealed some kind of a cartridge for it. You can read the story at Digital Trends for SimCity. I like SimCity. I mean, I get a little bit obsessed about it, but that's why I can't play it anymore, really.
I guess if anything, it just inspired me to have fire preparedness in my own actual home. Because the only thing I remember is like spending probably an hour building a home and then burning it down immediately afterwards. Because I didn't know that you were supposed to like take stuff out of the oven.
Let's see how your Tamagotchi does that.
Yeah.
All right, Christopher, thank you for your comment right there. And let's go on to some of our other ones that we have here from Read 'em Weep. Xavier Lathan regarding Amazon Fire TV Cube review. I believe this is Caleb that's doing this review. Caleb Dennison here from Digital Trends. Xavier, you getting paid for this? And then, I don't know, is that they're upset that he's getting paid
Is
for it? I'm not sure if he's
eyebrow
implying
raised
that-
emoji?
I think maybe they're implying that Amazon paid for it. I can assure you that's not the case. It's just, it's a product review. Or maybe he's just mad that Caleb's paid it all, that Caleb should work.
Yeah, maybe that's
So-
it. We need some more context here.
Yeah, Xavier, please clarify where you're upset and who's getting the money.
We do pay Caleb. Amazon does not pay us.
Yes. Although, maybe he's implying that Caleb shouldn't be paid for this. We should all just work for free. So, all right, Xavier, thank you. Thanks for that heads up. Merry Christmas to you, too. All right. Let's go on to Anthony Ferraro regarding Fortnite addiction spurs parents to send their kids to video game rehab. That is a real story that's been up for a while where kids are playing Fortnite so much that they are getting like certified as addicted. And Anthony says, "You've never seen a game that has such control over kids' minds. Psh, welcome to EverQuest in 1998. I had to switch to my nerd voice. People literally died from playing that game and not eating or drinking." Well, that's maybe that's true. I don't know. I have not played EverQuest. I don't think there's any game that would keep me from that.
Yeah, I can't back up the facts on this, but
Yeah.
I kind of get where he's going though. Is I feel like every time there's a big game out, we get really concerned. Like everybody's rushing to play this game, and then we're worried about kids and how they act and how they consume media like this. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you overdo anything. It's
yeah, I mean,
much.
yeah, everybody needs to chill out every once in a while,
Right.
but I don't know that maybe necessarily like a Fortnite addiction is the most concerning thing. It's just a video game addiction in general,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you could also just turn it off.
That's true.
I mean, couldn't you just do that? Wouldn't that just be like one way? I mean, like really easy, just turn it off?
I think there's bigger implications here.
Okay.
If you're like actually addicted to it.
You think I'm oversimplifying it?
Maybe just a little bit.
I mean, if we to look back at this is going to be like when people like freaked out about Marilyn Manson or Ozzy Osbourne or something like that. Like, oh no, it's turning our kids into.
I think that's where Anthony's getting at, though.
Okay.
Is I mean, or maybe he's just saying like the OG Fortnite was EverQuest, but.
Okay.
Maybe I read a little bit too much into it, but I kind of get what if he means that we're freaking out a little bit too much. I kind of get it.
Anthony, you've given us some thought-provoking content for today. Anthony, thank you. That was on Facebook regarding the Fortnite addiction. Mike Cruz regarding Temi personal robot hands-on review. I have not seen this one, but damn, it's 2019 and we just invented the robot from Rocky 3. I have not seen the Temi personal robot. And so I don't know for sure, but either way, I want it already just because it's apparently something from Rocky 3, so I'm in. I'm on board. I want all of the robots from like movies, like 80s and 90s movies to now become reality.
I don't think it was Rocky 3, though.
Oh, correction, Mike.
Was it Rocky 4?
I don't know. That's Nicole. You are here to check this.
That's all I got. That's all I'm here for is just obscure Rocky references.
Doubt about which Rocky movie it was. So I don't know. I want the short circuit robot. That's what I want. All right, next. Let's go on to our next comment here, and then we're gonna get to a little bit of news, and then we're gonna be joined by Deepak Chopra live here on the show in just a little bit. 123 Big Red writes regarding the future of artificial intelligence. Stock up on guns and ammo for when the robots come. LOL.
No, that's not something I would laugh out loud to.
Yeah,
I don't think that's an inappropriate LOL placement.
Nicole, do you have something you would like to tell 123 Big Red?
Just that I hope that he's not trying to gun down the Temi robot.
Oh,
or the Rocky 3 and/or 4 robot.
You got to pick up the good robots from the bad robots. The thing is, though, I don't know if guns and ammo is going to do you any good against artificial intelligence. I mean, can you shoot all the computers? I mean, I don't really know how that would work.
I don't know. We should probably rewatch the Terminator movies for reference.
Yes, the Terminator movies would be a good idea. Also, we do have an immediate correction just to a previous subject here. Looking in our live chat, Jeremy Kaplan joining in. Rocky 2 had the robot.
Rocky 2 had the robot.
Everybody was wrong.
Robot.
Rocky 2 had the robot. We will issue a correction. I'll issue a correction.
Yes.
Would you like to issue an apology?
Yes, please issue an apology on my behalf.
Yes, on Nicole's behalf.
I thought it was Rocky 4.
We apologize for what Nicole said earlier today. We'll have a meeting about it afterward. Rocky 2 had the robot. All right, 123 Big Red, thank you for that comment. And we've got one more here for Read 'em and Weep, and then we've got a little bit of some news stories. Alice Schock regarding Netflix paid $100 million to keep friends, but viewers may pay the highest price. This is the story that will not go away. It's amazing the lifespan of Friends and how big this is that people are still talking about this. I mean, yeah, $100 million that Netflix paid just to keep them for a year. If you have to buy Friends, you're better off without. Oh,
nice.
Alice, man. Well, what if you have to, though? I mean, is it better? I mean, now we're getting into a philosophical question, I feel like.
I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm still reeling over the Rocky robot.
It's going to be a while until Nicole can get over that. Alice, I'll bring that up to Deepak here in a bit. You know, is it better to buy Friends, or are you better off without?
He probably has the answer.
He probably does.
I definitely don't.
That. Yeah, it's not ours for that part. All right, let's get to just a little bit of news here. And you know, since is the week kind of in between a lot of tech announcements right now, being December 27th, 2018, and next week we'll be gearing up for a lot of CES news. But we do have a lot of CES articles that are coming out. In case you don't know, that's the Consumer Electronics Show, and that's happening in, gosh, 2 weeks, I think, something like that, where everything's going to go insane. But we do have some stories that are coming out about CES right now, just kind of anticipating what's going to happen. But this was an interesting one, an article about some of the things that Samsung is going to debut. And I'm not talking about the new S10 or their televisions. It's products from their creative lab called the C Lab. And this is kind of their lab where they just test out a bunch of weird products.
And you get to learn more about it at CES. We just have a sneak preview right now. Is that kind of the idea?
Yep, pretty much. They made an announcement, I believe it was yesterday, walking through some of the products that they're going to be releasing in conjunction with the C Lab. And most of them, they were saying, and this is from In-Kook Han, who's the Vice President and Head of the Creativity and Innovation Center at Samsung Electronics, said that we'll present promising C-Lab projects leveraging AI technologies in the field of video content creation, perfume making, and more. So taking a look at some of these, we've got this one. This is the, I believe this is let's see, Prismit. So this is an AI-driven news analysis service. And the idea here is basically whenever a user searches for an issue or an event, Prismit will pull up 5 different articles related to it so you can research the history.
Interesting.
Which is kind of what I do all the time anyway. I just kind of go to Wikipedia no matter what I'm watching.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
It's doing the Wikipedia searching for you.
Wow, that is fascinating.
So that's...
I mean, you had me at perfume making. This is definitely a little bit more practical, it seems, though.
Yeah, so that's one of the ones. Real quick, I've got some breaking news. We have to issue another apology. Jeremy Kaplan in the live chat has just confirmed it was not Rocky 2, it was Rocky 4.
Yes!
The robot. Apology that we made Nicole give is rescinded. Apologies to Nicole. An apology on behalf of Jeremy for telling us the wrong Rocky.
Okay. I don't know if I feel vindicated,
yeah.
But at least I'm here for all of your obscure references.
Indeed. So Nicole, back on top again. So again, going through some of the Samsung C-Lab projects that are coming out. Let's see. We've got a couple other ones. So there was the monitor stand. I'm going to get to the perfume blender. The Girin monitor stand, and I could be mispronouncing it. It's an automatically adjusting computer monitor. So what it is, it uses AI where the monitor will adjust depending on how you are, and it will also help you have correct posture.
Okay.
So when you're staring at your monitor, if you're slouching over like this, which is me a lot, it will raise it up so you're forced to sit back up.
Oh, that's interesting.
I actually really like this idea.
But about the perfume blender.
We're gonna get to the perfume blender. We will not forget about the perfume blender. But see, so it's kind of on a raised thing that'll just adjust for you and force you to telescope. There we go. That's a word that can be used.
Oh, there we go.
It will telescope up and adjust. I like this idea a lot. I think it's a good application of AI.
Yeah, it seems like a good compromise between the sort of like the sitting and slouching that we're all prone to, but then being forced to stand up. Because I always say, like, if you stand up, then you have better posture. But it's not always. It's not always the easiest thing to do to stand up while you're working all the time. So I like this idea a lot.
That's a good idea of a good use of
I say as I'm literally slouching over my laptop.
I know, I do this all the time too.
It's like, wait a sec.
Sit up straight. All right, a couple other products from this Samsung C-Lab, the Creative Lab, where they're supposedly going to be debuting these at CES. And then we're going to go to a break, and we're going to be joined by Deepak Chopra here in just mere moments. But this is the perfume blender that we do need to talk about. So this is what it is. It's a custom perfume making service that will let users make their own customized fragrance and share the recipe for it. So according to Samsung, what you can do is you can take a picture of your favorite perfume and it will analyze the common ingredients and then recommend recipes to you.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things using AI, again, because all of these are going to use some form of artificial intelligence with this. That's how it is. So I didn't know that was an in-demand thing. I also am not in the perfume market, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both of the first two things, the Prisma and the Girin monitor stand, both things that would like affect us from day to day. But I'm wondering like how many people would be using Perfume Blender.
Yeah, I don't know.
And also, is there IP around perfume recipes? Like, is that?
I don't know.
It seems kind of strange just to be able to go, oh, this is something that somebody makes and markets, and then just to take a photo of it and then be able to recreate it at home.
Recreate it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the actual rules on that
We need a perfume expert.
We'll have to get a perfume expert on the show. All right, the one last one I wanted to bring up from the Samsung Creative Lab. Again, these are products that Samsung says they're going to be debuting at the Consumer Electronics Show in a couple of weeks. It's something called the AMO, and it's an ASMR sound recording microphone. So it's comprised of, it's more than that. It's a smart foam and cover case that stimulates the human ear. So per Samsung, when recording ASMR content with this solution, creators not only obtain spatially more enhanced sound in terms of sound directivity, they also produce vivid, realistic ASMR sounds with AI sound rendering software.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if that's necessary. I'm also not an ASMR consumer.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of ASMR. But I feel like this is such an amazing idea because the market is huge.
It is big. That is true. So maybe you need something like this to help make sure you do it right.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we need an ASMR expert.
Well,
perfume expert, Rocky expert, ASMR expert, hit us up.
Well, there it is. So send us an email or comment right now as we're broadcasting live. Nicole, thank you for joining us here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and apologies again for apologizing for your Rocky Mountain. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to be coming back broadcasting live across our platforms with the one and only Deepak Chopra right here on Digital Trends Live. Let's take a quick break. Right back here with him. Drop your comments and questions right there into the chat. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live across all of our different social media platforms here every day, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, and we are very, very excited to introduce our next guest. He hardly even needs an introduction. I mean, he's the author of over 80 books. I don't even know how many New York Times bestsellers. He's involved in the tech world. He will blow your mind. It is Deepak Chopra. Hello, Deepak.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really excited to have you on here. I want to talk about all of the really cool things that you're doing, but I wanted to ask right off the bat, over 80 books. Where do you find the inspiration to write so many different books and come up with so much material?
I find the inspiration in my deep inner silence in meditation. I just allow it to flow forth without any editing, and so far it's worked.
I would say it has worked for sure. It's worked out pretty well, and I want to get into talking about your daily reflections and the different stuff that you're doing with that and your application. One other question I just have personally, and feel free to answer or don't answer, but I wanted to bring up just the fact that we talk a lot about artificial intelligence. It's a very big thing in the world of technology right now, in addition to assistants and digital assistants and all of that. How do you feel about the advent of artificial intelligence and how that's going to affect humanity, maybe in general?
I think that's a very appropriate question, especially in your forum, Digital Trends. Intelligence can be embodied in the brain or through technology. Artificial intelligence, immersive augmented reality, virtual reality, the internet, they're all part of our human evolution. They can't be stopped anymore. And if anything, if anybody thinks that they can stop the evolution of technology, then they're going to become irrelevant. That's a Darwinian principle. So either we embrace technology to the fullest, or we become irrelevant. The question is, what do we do with it? Because technology by itself is neutral. And there's a distinction between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So far, technology has all been about data, and now slowly it's becoming about information and knowledge. But knowledge can be used for destructive purposes or to create a healthier planet. That's where wisdom comes in. Wisdom is that knowledge that improves the quality of life, each one of us, but also the life of the planet, the ecosystem. What we call technology today, right now, the one we're using right here on Digital Trends, this is the emerging global brain because it requires the participation of all our brains. And so what we see on the internet is a wiring that is happening right now of the global brain. And if you want to see the human condition, it's chaotic, it's melodramatic, it's hysterical, it's volatile. This is the right moment for all of us who are alert, because when there is so much chaos and volatility and melodrama and hysteria, there's also the moment of opportunity. What people call good luck is nothing other than opportunity meeting preparedness. Together, using the best technology, immersive dreamscapes, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, we can aspire to create a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. If we don't do it, we are being irresponsible with the gift that our collective creativity is embarking on.
I think that's such a wonderful way to look at it. I haven't actually looked at it in that manner, and I think you're right. There is no stopping it, and if you're not, engaged in it, then you do become, obsolete almost. That's wonderful. Well, this is why you are Deepak Chopra. Thank you so much for that. Well, let's talk about this. Bringing up, how you're embracing digital assistants and artificial intelligence in general with your new daily reflections skill. I believe it's available on Alexa right now. What can you tell us about this?
Well, for many decades, I start my day first with a meditation and then with a reflection. The reflection could be something as simple as, how do I see today? What would I like today to be like? I would like to, for example, enjoy a joyful, energetic body, a loving, compassionate heart, a reflective, alert mind, and most importantly, lightness of being. How am I going to do it? So that is a reflection I have every day for myself. I started sharing it with family and friends, and then slowly people started asking me to share it on social media. And then I met Rob Locascio, who is the CEO and founder of Live Person, which is the technology we're using right now for having this conversation. And he said, would you like to share it with the world? Because I can do it on Alexa through Amazon. I said, why not? So we started this skill. And today, anyone, anywhere in the world who has access to Alexa or Amazon, they can say, let me hear Deepak's reflection for today. It's enjoying a good ride at the moment.
I think it's got to be such a unique way. I mean, we've never had this kind of connectivity before, where you can just have that, where someone's in their room. You record this in the morning, and then I'm assuming it's in the morning. You said after maybe your meditation, yes. And then how long does it take before that's sent out to everybody via the skill?
Well, it's all automatized now. So every day I do a recording, and it's automatically there on Alexa. When you wake up in the morning, you can say, Alexa, please share Deepak's reflection for today, or what's he saying, or something like that, and you'll get it.
And what will people get out of that, out of listening to it every day? What will it help them prepare for the day?
The thing is, my audience is already self-selected, so it's in a sense we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. I point the direction. It's like going to a traffic light and you see in all the road signs, this goes to Hollywood and this goes to California and this goes to New Jersey. So I use pointers, and then people decide what they want to do with those directions.
How great. I mean, this that you're able to share that, with so many people.
Well, it's very gratifying to also get the feedback.
I bet, yeah. And how long has the app? How long has the skill been available?
It's been only a few weeks, but it's increasing its audience by leaps and bounds.
And I think everybody should absolutely subscribe to that as an Alexa skill. And then you also have, in addition to your daily reflections, there's also the app that you have, Jayo. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. And
Yeah, Jayo, Jiy. Yes.
Jayo.
We're calling this the Internet of Well-being. So I curate about 25 experts on this site, which is jiyo.com, Jiyo.com. Again, it's free. You don't have to pay anything to be a subscriber. And the 25 experts are in the area of sleep, in the area of stress management and meditation, exercise and movement, breathing, yoga, emotional well-being and relationships, a connection with nature, and nutrition. These are the most important areas we discuss. And these are brought to you by experts in the area that, as I said, I curate. And I also post over there a daily reflection. But people are also able to post their reflections on Jiyo.com and share their photos or videos as they would on Instagram. Instead of the word selfie, we use the word wealthy. So if you've had a good meal, or if you've been to the gym, and if you're feeling strong and enthusiastic and inspired, then you can take a video of yourself and post it as a wealthy. And then when people can embark on the same adventures themselves, the idea, of course, is always personal and social transformation for all of us. I've always believed that if you use technology, you should ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, is it fun? Number 2, is it helpful? Will it make a difference in the lives of people and ultimately in the life of our planet and the quality of life on our planet? If the answer is yes to those 3 things, then technology is the best gift we have.
Those are probably good things for all of us to ask, depending on what websites you go to or what you're doing. That's a great way to look at it. And I know you're such a busy person, and I know we'll need to let you go here in a minute, but I did want to bring up your newest book, which is You Are the Universe, which is available right now. What can you tell anyone about that?
Well, the 2 most important questions in science today, unanswered questions. There are about 150 unanswered questions in science that people talk about. You can Google them. But the 2 most important ones, or you might say the 2 in the hierarchy of open questions are, number 1, what's the universe made of? And the best answer, scientific answer, is it's made of nothing. And that brings up the second most important question. Then why does it look like what it looks like? Why does it look like you and me and the picture behind me and the chandelier and the stars and the galaxies? So if you were to rephrase those questions, they would be, what's the universe made of? And 2, how do we know that it exists as what we are seeing? And that includes our own physical body. These are very important questions. And they lead to other questions like, what's the meaning of birth? And what's the meaning of death? Do we have a soul? Is there an entity that we can call a higher power? If so, how do we know that it exists? So these are the questions that we attempt to answer in this book, You Are the Universe, which is written along with a physicist who got his PhD from MIT. So we ask questions like, how did the universe begin? How did time begin? What is the nature of consciousness? And how do we know our own existence beyond the concepts of space-time, energy, information, and matter.
Wow.
In other words, who are we?
That is a lot to think about in all of that, and that's what you're tackling in You Are the Universe. And Deepak Chopra, I would just want to say thank you so much for taking time, out of your very, very busy schedule to talk to us today and join us here on the show. And we just really, really appreciate that. So that's Deepak.
The privilege was mine. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Deepak. And of course, get the skill right there on Alexa and pick that up for Deepak's new skill, Daily Reflections. And I'm excited to have him on the show. All right. Continuing on with digital trends today. So here's what we're going to do. A lot to think about right there in that segment, right? So you can go back and watch that video on demand. Afterward, we'll have that up after the live show. You can take a look at that. What we're going to do is take a break, and we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to head to our New York studio. So we're here in Portland right now. We'll head to our New York studio, where then we'll be joined by Felicia Miranda, who's going to be talking to, let me make sure I get the name right. I mean, it's Dominique from Limbitless. And Limbitless, what they do is they create 3D printed prosthetics for children. There's even a video with Robert Downey Jr. creating an Iron Man prosthetic for a kid. It's amazing what they're doing. So we'll be going to our New York studio with Felicia for that. Thanks for tuning in. Stay right with us. Keep dropping in your comments. I'm seeing a bunch here that came through. Join us for the rest of the show. We're right here with Digital Trends Live.
editor here at Digital Trends. Today, I'm going to be accompanied by Dominique Corbin, who is the director of production over at Limitless. Limitless is a nonprofit organization that creates prosthetic limbs for children. Hey, Dominique, can you tell us a little bit about Limitless and how it came to be?
Yeah, so Limitless Solutions started as really a project that a few students and I came together to create a 3D printed prosthetic arm about 4 years ago. And since then, we've developed into a nonprofit, and we've donated about 20 arms to 20 children across the United States.
Wow, that's impressive. I actually discovered you guys through a post that 343 Industries put up not too long ago. And it was an announcement about a partnership for Halo-themed prosthetics. And I think that's amazing. I know that's probably really popular with the kids. How did that come to be? How did that partnership arise?
So like I said, we started about 4 years ago, and we started with a very simple prosthetic arm that could just open and close. But due to popular demand and our own interest in like improving the prosthetics, we began to create prosthetics that could control individual finger movement. But that created a really technical, difficult problem for us to solve, to figure out how the kids could control the prosthetic simply and pick it up pretty quickly. And so for us, we know that video games are pretty addictive, and they are really good at making a non-frustrating, non-problematic way to challenge the kids to improve and to learn how to use the prosthetic, but without becoming overwhelmed. And so we also developed video games in conjunction with improving our prosthetic. And last year at GDC 2018, we showed off our video games, and we met some really cool people from, like you said, 343 and League of Legends from Riot Games. And so we were able to partner with both organizations to develop prosthetic arms that were themed in a way that reflected characters from both games.
Oh, that's awesome. So what inspired Limitless to create these awesome designs for their prosthetic limbs? And what kind of designs are currently available outside of the gaming themed ones that you have?
Yeah, so that's two questions. First question, what inspired us to create both Halo arms and League of Legends arms? We grew up playing video games. Most of us are all avid video game players, and we had great success with teaming up with Microsoft and Robert Downey Jr. a couple of years ago to create an Iron Man themed prosthetic arm. And so we knew that, you know, superheroes and really powerful characters were popular with kids as well as with us. And so we always want to help empower the kids and enable them to reflect how awesome and heroic they are internally and wear that on their sleeve. And then you'll have to remind me of the second question.
Oh, yes. So what kind of designs do you guys have currently available?
In addition to both the 343 Halo themed arms and the Riot Games League of Legends arms, we also have some self-generated arms that we put into 4 classes, which are Shadow, Warrior, Ethereal, and there's one more after Ethereal that I can never remember. But we kind of made these like 4 classes or 4 houses that reflect the kids' personalities, that you know, the kids can have fun in choosing and having the arms reflect their own personality or facets of their own character.
Oh, that's great. Kind of like classes in a video game almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. So are there any plans for future partnerships down the line? If not, or even if so, what would be like your ideal partnership? Like what would you want Limitless to partner with?
Yeah, so there's always more exciting new stuff down the line. You can never stay stagnant or stay still. We're always trying to improve and try to add more designs and more cool things to our repertoire. Kind of what I would like to do, just kind of a end all be all. I would love for kids that have grown up with Limitless arms to eventually become their own designers and be able to give back to the community. So I can't wait until one day we have an arm that's been designed by one of the people, one of our recipients or one of the people that wear them. I think that would be the coolest thing for us.
Oh, that would be awesome. I was watching some of the videos and I saw that you guys teach the kids how to use the arms using video games. Do you guys build those games yourself, or how does that work?
Yeah, we do. So we work in conjunction or very closely with the University of Central Florida. And one of the collaborations that we do with the University of Central Florida is we work with their School of Visual Arts and Design to help develop video games. So we have several faculty that teach video game classes that help guide some of their classes and teach accessibility in gaming, as well as serious games, games that are not purely for entertainment, but also can be used for educational purposes. And then those students help join the team and help develop video games that can teach the kids how to better use their prosthetics and learn how to use the prosthetics more quickly.
Awesome. So what's the process for creating a bionic arm? It seems like something that might be complicated, but you guys use 3D printing and things like that, right?
Yeah, so we do use 3D printing, an advanced manufacturing process. Actually, the same kind of process that we use to build the models, we found that a lot of video game industry professionals use those same tools to create the three-dimensional geometries that represent the characters in game. So for us to adapt from the Master Chief to the actual prosthetic arm was fairly simple. We were able to import those 3D geometries, kind of clean it up for the physical purposes, add the parts that we needed to, conform to the prosthetic side or to interface with the prosthetic. And then from there, we were able to print it, kind of test fit, make it sure everything fit well, and then kind of put those files into production.
Oh, so how long does that take usually? Is that something that takes a long time?
So it depends. From the video game side, a lot of times they'll start with a high-res model, a high-resolution model. That's really cumbersome and clunky for computers and consoles to run those models at full resolution. So after that, they'll kind of reduce those models down. But for us, we love those high-res models because it creates a high-fidelity model when we go to print. The process really does depend on whether we have those low-resolution or high-resolution models to begin with. And then from there, we kind of adapt those models to really kind of characterize the character within the constraints of the prosthetic arm. And so that can take on the digital side up to a month, up to about 4 weeks. And then on the production side, it can take a couple of weeks or even a couple of iterations to go back and work hand in hand with the digital side to make sure that all of those details are nailed just perfectly.
Okay. So I guess the selling point, I'm not sure what the right verbiage would be, but Limitless prides itself in being an affordable alternative to other prosthetics. How much does a comparable prosthetic cost in comparison to a limitless one?
So you bring up a valid point. Limitless Solutions fundraises through public donations. Donate all of our arms at no cost to the families. So a traditional prosthetic that would do a similar function, kind of look like hand-like and move individual fingers using electromyography, using EMG technology. They can range anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000.
Wow.
And we donate all of our arms at no cost to the families.
That's incredible. Wow. So what are some of the most creative prosthetics that you guys have made thus far?
Yeah. So one of our co-founders, John Sparkman, in conjunction with a little girl who wears one of our other fully functional Limitless bionic arms, she plays the guitar. And so she was really looking for a lightweight, pick prosthetic. And so John worked with her, along with one of our good friends to the organization, Evan Kuster, to make a really lightweight prosthetic pick that she was able to strum the guitar with. So I think that's probably one of the most creative that we've done. And it was a lot of fun to see her able to more comfortably strum the guitar than her older, heavier prosthetic.
Oh yeah, that's great. So the Robert Downey Jr. video, that's something I did want to bring up because I saw that video and that was incredibly heartwarming and amazing. I think I would freak out if something like that happened to me, but the kid was so composed. Alex, I believe is his name. How did you guys set that up? Was that something that was like set up by the family, or was that kind of like, we want to do this for you kind of situation?
Yeah, so we had previously worked with Alex, the young boy, and he actually received our very first arm. Like I said, about 4 years ago, when we started with just a simple project with a couple of college kids coming together to 3D print an arm, Alex was our very first recipient. And after that, we worked really hard to streamline the electronics, to streamline the controls, and really improve the process. And so the second, third individual that received arms were receiving arms that were magnitudes above and better than Alex's first arm. And so at one point, we were hanging out with Alex again, and we were looking at his arm and seeing all the improvements that we could make, and to bring him kind of up to speed and really update his arm. And at the time, we were working with Microsoft to kind of tell the story about how we used OneNote and in conjunction with the collective project to try and bring to light nonprofits that Microsoft thought were doing really good, as well as kind of showcase some of their technology. And as part of this, one of the film crew, one of the people that was just kind of really working the camera behind the scenes for the collective project, had actually done work with Robert before.
Wow.
Yeah, he thought our project was really cool. Thought that Robert might be interested in partnering and coming together to create a really cool experience. And we thought it would be an awesome opportunity to update Alex's arm, who we knew could use the prosthetic, who we knew was comfortable with kind of being in the spotlight. And so it all just came together. Really, all of these parts that were moving behind the scenes came together to make a really cool moment. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So I wanted to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
Everyone who's watching, thank you for watching, and make sure to check out Limitless. They're a nonprofit that gives awesome prosthetics, really cool looking prosthetics to kids. If you like games, then it's something you should definitely check out. Right now, we're going to commercial, and then after that, we're going to send it back to Greg in Portland. Thank you.
Welcome back to Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you tech headlines and interviews, all in a live format, talking to you directly. And a frequent topic on this show has to do with data security. I think that's a big thing for everybody in the tech industry, but not only that, just for your own personal data. We've seen so many breaches this year, and we're joined now by the CEO of Helm, Giri Srinivas, to talk about what they're doing to help combat that, I believe. Giri, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for hopping on today. I mean, am I wrong in saying that this seems like this is the worst year ever for data security breaches?
I think you're right in saying that. I mean, we're seeing an escalating rate of breaches and also the severity of the breaches. And I think there's more and more pressure now for these breaches to actually come to light. So consumers are learning more and more about what's going on with their data.
Yeah, I definitely think it's been kind of an eye-opening experience for me. I mean, we've all known, data breaches happen all the time, but just this year alone, I think people are becoming more aware of it. But let me ask you this, just on a base level, do you think this is something that we have to, in this day and age with so much information online, do we just need to get used to the fact that our data is going to be taken or used in ways we don't know, or should we take measures to try to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, so I think that now is the time for people to be thinking deeply about how they can empower themselves and take back control. I think that everyone has to recognize there's a certain amount of data about ourselves that's just available freely on the internet now because of breaches that have happened in the past. But that should not lead to what I like to call privacy or security nihilism, right? I mean, people should be thinking carefully about not just the data that they've generated in the past, but the data that they're going to generate going forward and what they can do to take active measures to protect that information.
I love that term, privacy nihilism, already. That's a great term. And I feel like some people are kind of going down that road. But you're right. I mean, we should probably figure out ways to protect ourselves. And let's talk about what Helm is doing. So what kind of solutions have you come up with to help combat this?
Yeah, so what we've developed is a personal server. And it goes in your home. It takes about 5 minutes to set up. And what it does is it gives you a set of services on a domain that is specific to you. So for example, my personal domain is giri.co. And I have my email, calendar, and contact services that run off of this server that's in my home. And the benefit of that, right, is that I actually own the server within my house. So this prevents, the government from getting access to my data without me knowing about it. This prevents companies like Google from being able to not only get access to my data, but then being able to track and link all of my online behaviors back to my email account. And it also prevents me from having that type of data being caught up in some of the massive breaches that we keep hearing about. So there's a lot of benefit to people actually having a personal server like this that's just super easy to set up and own. And then on top of it, we've developed this so that more and more services will become available over time. So while we're starting with things like email and calendar and contacts, we will have a VPN service, for example, that'll be available shortly, and a password manager service, and on. So we've got a lot coming.
That's a really interesting way to go about it, just because, I mean, I feel like setting up a personal servers always seemed like such a daunting task. Like how do you make this easy? You said within 5 minutes. How do you make it so easy to set up?
Yeah, so if you can set up, like an Amazon Echo or Google Home, you can set up this type of product. All you need to do is download an app to your mobile phone. You'll pair it over Bluetooth with the server that comes to your house. You enter an activation code that you get at the time of purchase, and you're pretty much done. I mean, from there, you just create the accounts that you want on there. So you can have an account for yourself. You can have an account for people that are in your family. And, it's just that easy. So what we've done is taken a lot of the complexity that people think about with, hey, I've got to set up a server, and really turn this into a little bit more like an appliance. You just plug it in and you set it up and you're ready to go, and you don't have to worry about managing it. We take care of automating all the software updates, and keeping the thing up to date so that you've got the latest features and you're protected against any potential security issues.
The design is pretty interesting in its own right too, as the upside down V shape, I guess would be a way to describe it. What was the story behind that? Behind coming up with that kind of design?
Yeah, so there's a few things that motivated that design. I mean, the first is we think about this as like a new product category, right? So, it really should look and feel like nothing else that's out there, because this is a notion of a personal server that really anybody can use and set up. The second thing for us is that, we wanted this to be really an innovative design, and that, there's no fans, right? So it's quiet. You can put it anywhere in your house. So that middle piece of metal is actually a heat sink, right? So it just takes all the heat that runs from the server and dissipates it out into the air. And then the last thing that we designed it for is expandability. So the reason why it comes to a peak like that at the top is that you can actually stack multiple units on top of each other in the future. And you'd want to do that over time as you need more, compute or storage capacity, right? So as you get in more and more services and you use this thing over many years, you're going to need to expand this.
So that's actually, I love that you took the aesthetics into it a little bit too, but it's a functional aesthetics when you design that. And you're right, creating a whole new category, it does need to be appealing, for people to look and want to have that on their shelf. So you said you can expand it. Like, let's talk about the product itself. Like, somebody wants to get into this, what do they get when at the entry level?
Yeah, so what they get is, so it's a server that comes with 120 gigs of storage on an SSD. It's got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so you can actually install this and put it anywhere in your home. And like I said, it comes with an email, calendar, and contact services. The server costs $499. That includes the first year subscription, and then after that, it's $99 a year. And the subscription covers the cost of a domain, so you can select a custom domain through us. You can also bring one that you already own. It includes storage for offsite backups. So what we do in the product is we actually include a USB key that is used to save your recovery keys. So only you as a customer have access to keys that can be used to decrypt your backups. And we'll hold encrypted backups offsite so that if anything happens to your server, anything happens to your home, you're going to be able to get up and running the next day. And then the subscription also covers access to new services that come out. So when we have a VPN service that's available or password manager service that's available, that'll all be included in that subscription as well.
For $99, that's actually covering quite a bit. If you have encrypted data backup as well, that sounds like you've got a lot of packages in there. And you said going forward, you're planning some other things. Let's just briefly touch on what it is you're planning to add on to this.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're seeing increasing adoption around is a VPN service, right? And people use VPNs for all different types of reasons. Some of this has to do with the fact that we travel around and about and we've got to jump on a Wi-Fi network at the coffee shop or at the airport or at a hotel. These Wi-Fi networks are typically not secure or protected. And so a VPN connection can actually protect you from these insecure networks. And the way a VPN service would work with Helm is that you actually create the secure connection back to the Helm server in your home. And one of the nice side effects of that, right, is that you now get access to like all of the content that you have in your home network. This kind of solves for the place shifting problem that people have run into when they get into different geographies and they can't access the content that they want. We're also taking a look at integrating an ad blocker with the VPN service to prevent tracking as you're browsing the web. So when you think about the way that we spend most of our time online, it's either communicating, of which email is a decent chunk of that time, or it's browsing the web. And so to the extent that we can secure and make those activities private, we're really eager to get that out to customers. And then we've got a password management service that's coming as well. So we've always thought that it was strange that people would use a master password and then sync all of that data back to a third-party service when you could actually sync it back to a server that's in your home. And so we're working on a password manager service that'll allow people to have their password sync across all their devices, but then also have it sync back to a central server that's actually located in their house.
Very cool. So it sounds like a lot coming forward with Helm. Gary, I want to ask you too, before we wrap up, are you going to be down at CES this year?
So this year we're going to be taking a pass on CES. I've been there many years in the past, and I find it to be a little bit of a zoo. We're currently, we're pretty swamped right now. We sold out of our initial run of units just a couple of weeks ago, and we're busy getting the next batch of units ready to fill the orders that are coming in. So we're heads down right now, getting the product out and getting it into people's hands and getting the next services available.
Congratulations. I mean, in the long run, that's a great problem to have. If you're selling out of your product, figuring out how to get more. Where can people go to check out the product itself and maybe place an order if they want to?
Yeah, so everybody should go and check out thehelm.com. They're going to be able to take a look at how the product works, how it comes together, the services that are on there. They'll see, why we're getting started with email, how we believe that your email is the root of your online identity. It's what you use to log in and sort of manage all the other accounts that you've got in your life. There's quite a bit of support content on there as well. And of course, if anyone has any questions that they don't see answered in that support content, they're more than happy to, they should feel comfortable reaching out to us. We've got a great support team that loves to engage with our customers and get their answers to their questions.
Well, Gary, thank you so much for joining us today. And congratulations on the run so far, and also just tackling, these big issues that are happening and trying to find a solution to help protect all of our data. Thank you so much, Gary.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right, and there we go here on Digital Trends Live. Once again, learning so much about so many different things here as we broadcast live. And I want to say thank you to everyone tuning in. So let's kind of recap a little bit about what we talked about today. So starting off with our tech headlines, we had Nicole in here, and I've got something I'm going to bring up with that here in just a minute. But Nicole joining us to talk about some of those tech headlines. Then we were joined by Deepak Chopra. Yes, Deepak Chopra, right here live on Digital Trends, as we do every day, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Deepak talked about some things that'll probably blow your mind. It's a good interview to listen to. We'll have that up. You can watch back on this video or watch it standalone when it comes out later. And yeah, it'll give you a lot to think about. I'll tell you that. So Deepak here to talk about his Alexa skill and everything going on. Then we had went to Felicia Miranda in our New York studio to talk to Dominique from Limitless about the really cool things they're doing with 3D printed prosthetics for children, especially like different versions, like a Halo version, they have an Iron Man version to help out kids. A really, really great product. And then just talking to Gary Srinivas about personal data protection. I want to remind you that we also have the HP sale to talk about. So Hewlett-Packard has a red tag sale going on right now. We've got a link underneath this video. You can click that link and go there and take advantage of some of the really, really great savings that are going on. I believe it's like up to 55% off. Huge savings that are happening. So with HP, yeah, up to 55%, save up to $690. And that's for the HP red tag sale. And going back to talking about Nicole at the beginning, I do just want to reiterate, we made a mistake when we talked about what robot was in which Rocky movie. First, we said Rocky 4, and then we heavily scrutinized Nicole for that because Jeremy Kaplan said it was Rocky 2. Turns out Jeremy was wrong, so we redact that, and now we have actually an image, I believe, from Rocky 4. There it is. There's the image that our own Kelsey here behind the scenes was able to pull up. So an actual image from Rocky 4 proving that Jeremy Kaplan was wrong in the beginning, but he's right now. So there it is, just right here. We correct things live. We're live. Sometimes these things happen, and that's a new profile pic for Jeremy. All right, again, we'll be back live tomorrow. So it's Thursday right now. We're back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Hit subscribe wherever you're watching to make sure that you get our live videos as they happen. And join us. Leave your comments, your questions. We read them every day, and I love interacting with all of you. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with more Digital Trends Live.